sewing lovers, welcome back to the channel. My name is Pelumi and this is Sewphilia Studios. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to print, assemble and store your PDF patterns. When it comes to PDF patterns, I think the headache behind it is how to actually fit all the puzzle pieces together and how to store it. I'm going to take all that headache away today and show you the easy ways if it's your first time using PDF patterns, So PDF patterns are super convenient. They give you the opportunity to try out new designs without the complicated maths of trying to figure out the pattern for yourself. They're also easy to use because you can print it at home without having to go out and buy the regular tissue paper patterns. So I love PDF patterns for that reason. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to print, assemble and store your PDF patterns. So don't forget to like this video if you find it helpful, share the video, leave a comment if you have any questions or feedback, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. To demonstrate how to use the PDF patterns, I will be using my newly launched Azania pattern. The link to buy this pattern will be in the description box below, so please show your support. It's important that you open the PDF pattern using programs specifically made for PDF patterns or PDF documents such as Acrobat Reader. Do not open on Microsoft Word or on your browser. Any document printed directly from your browser usually produces the wrong scale, so make sure you open with a PDF reader. Also, most PDF patterns now come with layers for you to select the sizes that you want in order to save some printing ink. So if you want to grade between sizes, you need to select those sizes. But for today, I'll be printing out all the sizes. And in this case, it's size 6 to 18. Next, select print, and there are settings that you need to take note of. The first is the printing scale. It needs to be set at actual size or 100%, not fit to scale. Also check that the paper size is either A4 or a letter if you're printing a printed home version, and that the orientation is set right. It's advisable to print the first page only in order to ensure that your printer settings are accurate. So print out the page that has a test square and take a measurement of that square first to make sure it's accurate, and then you can print out the rest of the pattern pages. To continue piecing the pattern together, you will need your printed pattern pages, of course, scissors, glue stick or sellotape, and a marker if you want to grade between sizes and write some things down, as well as a long ruler. The first thing you need to do is to trim your borders. I find it time consuming to use scissors to trim the borders of each page, so my preferred method is to use a ruler that serves as my paper cutter. And I also only trim the top and the right side of the paper, not all the borders. Simply place the ruler on the paper and align it to the border line, and firmly press down to secure the paper underneath the ruler and gradually tear the borders off. To make it easier and faster, I take more than one page, so maximum of 8, so that it's not too thick, and then I tear off the borders all at once using the same method. You need to press firmly on the ruler in order to get a firm grip of the paper for cutting accuracy. So after trimming all the borders, it's now time to assemble the PDF patterns and join them together. To do this, you're going to need a glue stick or a sellotape, but I think a glue stick is a more eco-friendly option, especially if you want to recycle the paper at a later date. It's also easier to adjust the pattern or the paper while the glue is still wet. So I like the glue stick for that reason. So to use a glue stick, simply apply the glue stick to one side of the paper and place it on the page, the next page, by aligning the page annotations. Most patterns have page annotations like this triangle here that you're gonna have to match together to create a diamond shape. Also ensure that you follow the page numbers sequentially, so it goes in order 1 2 3 4 5, and you also need to line up the patterns according to the pattern layout that should be on the sewing instructions manual. You can also use sellotape to join the pattern, and that's what I'll be using for the rest of this process because it's faster than glue. So the pros and cons in a glue or sellotape. So you don't need to tape every single part of the paper, and that's what makes it faster actually. So you need to tape the part with the annotations and at critical points where the pattern pieces meet, or areas where after cutting it could come undone and separate. So you need to focus on those areas. So I like to focus on the page corners, the paper seams, and any little pattern piece, like I said. If you have a large pattern and you don't have a large table to work on, you can tape the top patterns on the wall and continue taping the remaining pages using the wall as like your canvas. Using the wall or a large window will also make the process faster and easier. And take your time, okay? You need to enjoy the pattern taping process. Have a glass of wine, a hot drink, and just listen to good music in the background and enjoy the pattern taping process. Trust me, it's actually relaxing. So after taping, I tried cutting the pattern pieces while it was still on the wall, but it was a bit tricky, so I had to take that off the wall and continue cutting out the pattern pieces on the table. So you can choose to cut out your appropriate size following the size lines, but I like to trace my patterns sometimes, so I want to have all the sizes available to me right now so that I can trace out the size I need on a later date. So I'm going to just cut around the biggest size here so that I can have all the sizes available to me, like I said. So after cutting your size, you're going to take this pattern pieces and simply place it on your fabric and cut away, making sure that you mark all the notches. It's actually very easy to use and actually find it better than using tissue patterns. I've only used tissue patterns once and it was so frustrating. I don't know. So let me know if you prefer PDF patterns to tissue patterns, because I prefer PDF patterns. They're just so much easier to use. So after your project is complete, it's now time to store your PDF patterns. Don't throw it away. You want to save paper and not have to print over and over again. So I have a few methods that I use. The first method that I use to store my PDF patterns is to use empty tissue rolls. This works for large patterns and copy shop patterns that I print. So to use this, I simply roll up the pattern, into a tube and place it into the tissue roll, and that's it. And then I use the marker to write the name of the pattern and any other information on the tube so that I can easily recognize it. The second method is to use clear envelopes like this one. I will show you how to fold the patterns to fit into envelopes in a few minutes, but then this is what I use. Not as often because the envelopes, but whenever I find an envelope, I use that folder or envelope, these plastic ones. I also use other types of envelopes, which in this case I made myself by using craft paper, but you can get regular manila envelopes. If you want to see a video on how I made these envelopes, let me know. Like this video and let me know in the comment section, okay, and I will make a video on that. It's actually pretty easy. And a third method is to use clear file organizers or paper organizers like this ones. In order to recognize a pattern when I want to use it, I ensure that I place a pattern piece that has all the information about the pattern, like the pattern company, the name of the pattern and everything, in front of the envelope so that I can identify it when I want to use it again. Alright, now in order to store the patterns in the envelope, you need to fold it properly, and it's pretty easy if you take your time. I like to fold along the paper seam lines, which is the point where the papers are joined with the tape or the glue. I advise that you fold it using this method so that you don't wrinkle or create too many folds in your paper that will make it difficult to reuse the pattern paper. So take your time and find the seams and fold along that, the paper seams. Yeah, and it's pretty easy. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know in the comment section below if you learned anything new and if you found the video helpful. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials and videos like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.